What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Slightly Salted Squad 2018 Game of the Year stream. We're going to be talking about one of the best years in video gaming I can remember. Giving some giveaways out and, talking about our thoughts about 2018, maybe about what's coming in 2019 as well. So, first of all, if you guys don't know, I am John at Force Inept.
I'm Mike at Sresh.
I'm Deion at Super Nerd Fresh.
Not gonna lie, I used to do this like the week in gaming where we do it on Discord where I have to point, but like you're literally right here. So
also,
that's
I always
easy.
point in the wrong direction. I'm always like, and Deion?
And Deion. Shit. So thank you guys for watching, following us so far this year. We pretty much started kind of late in this year, I would say, streaming, and already thanks to your support, we're doing pretty well. Extra Life was huge for us this year. We raised, actually, I need to double check. I think we're over $1,500 now. Which is incredible, and we set the bar high, but for 2019 we're gonna have to beat that somehow. So we're gonna have to shave a lot of things, I guess.
One of us is getting a tattoo.
Don't look that
That one. It's been a great year. Thank you for watching. Again, if you've got Twitch Prime, if you have Amazon Prime, that means you have Twitch Prime. We would love a sub. You get a free sub every month. Otherwise, please give that out to somebody. Amazon does make you do it monthly, and they want to keep your money. So give it to somebody in the Twitch community. There's been a ton of amazing content creators out there. So if it's not us, give it to somebody else. Let's get started with a gift that I got you guys that I think you'll appreciate in Twitch wrapping paper, no less. Open that bad boy up.
Do the honors.
Yeah, come on.
Merry holidays and whatnot.
My guess right now is it's a Nintendo 64.
Oh,
definitely. It's actually a lawnmower.
It's the gift that
motherfucker, our favorite peanut butter monster, brought to you by Archer Farms. Thank you so much, John.
You can get it at Target.
Hashtag not sponsored.
On sale for something. We would love to be sponsored by Archer Farms. But really, that was just to make sure you guys don't bitch because I didn't have it.
Hell
So.
yeah.
That's true. That's true.
Also, all of us celebrating the holidays with a little rum, vodka, and rum. So, okay, well, let's get into it.
It's just so good when it hits your lips.
It's just so good. It's just the nuts in your mouth mixed with the chocolate. It's just great. So we are starting our 2018 Game of the Year conversations with a few different categories. So we're going to be going through Best Narrative, Best Local Multiplayer Game, considering obviously our stream. We try to do that once a week where we do local multiplayer games. Pretty much just Best Switch Game, also Overwatch. Most Fun Game, which I think is drastically different, and we'll talk about that, I'm sure, than the actual Game of the Year. Biggest Upset, as far as what expectations we had for a game and fell short. There's quite a few contenders out there for that one, actually. Biggest Surprise Game, a game we weren't anticipating that we ended up loving. Most Impactful Event for Video Games in 2018. It's kind of a really broad topic, but we'll just kind of talk through some of the, the biggest events in video games this year. And then at the end, Game of the Year. We will also be giving out a few free games. We have a couple copies of the SNK bundle. These are all for Windows, so we don't have any PlayStation or Switch or Xbox codes, but for Windows, SNK bundle, Hacknet Complete Edition, Smoke and Sacrifice, and Poi. So we can give out a few of those at the end of the stream as well. So, okay, well, I guess we're going to get into the best narrative of the year. For me, this was Red Dead Redemption 2. It was a just fantastic game, and to be honest, before I finished it, I would have put God of War ahead of it. And then I finished it, and just all the different intricate pieces coming together with the epilogue and everything like that kind of really sealed that deal for me. It was heartbreaking at points, funny at points, frustrating and maddening at points. I don't think I've ever been as mad at a character in a video game. And I kind of don't want to do too many spoilers in this, just because we're trying to recommend games. But, Dan, where are you at on it? Okay, so you've done through pretty early in the game. There's a character named Micah who is it Strawberry or Valentine?
Strawberry.
Strawberry. So you kind of like break them out and everything like that.
Yeah.
What up, Steve? Welcome to the stream.
It only gets worse.
Yeah. So Mike as a character, I mean, he's a great villain in not being a traditional villain, I guess, because you're all kind of bad guys. But wow, so early on in a game that I really had no interactions with this character previously. Broke him out of jail and immediately kind of started chewing up a town that I'm trying to play a good guy as. Right. And wow, it just instantly triggered that hate of a character and then continued to develop it throughout the course of a game. And not to mention some of the characters, without spoilers, that shift in the ways you think about them too. So I haven't gotten the online, like we do need to play that, but the online, there's an online story to that as well. Haven't really gotten into that much. Haven't necessarily cared. Any online game, I kind of just am like, okay, next. What's the next story? I'm just going somewhere to shoot something or whatever.
Or each other in that game.
Also each other. Definitely each other. So, actually, sorry, real quick. Red Dead Redemption 2, I'm sure everybody knows, but Rockstar Games published that. Just want to go through and talk about all the developers, or at least mention the developers, give them credit for some of these amazing and not so amazing games we're going to talk about today. So, what about you, Mike?
My pick was a little bit different, and I think that a lot of that comes from never playing Red Dead Redemption before. I think that it was a fantastic game, and I thoroughly enjoyed the story. And after I beat the game and I went through and started reading about the backstory of Red Dead Revolver and Red Dead Redemption 1 and trying to see how this whole thing kind of plays into the world, a lot of things came to light. However, for me, the best story that I enjoyed while playing this year was God of War.
Gotcha.
And that comes from, I'm a huge God of War fan. I've been playing God of War since the very first one. You guys can check me out on PlayStation. I have every platinum of every God of War game that's been out.
God.
And
that's
they
insane.
really captured the magic of Kratos in this game, in the sense of like being able to make him feel like himself, but more mature and like he's grown. And I felt like I've really grown with the character. And so the story of him sort of trying to find himself in a new land and trying to understand how to deal with heartbreak and how to deal with raising a son that he wasn't really prepared for. That story had me from the very beginning.
Yeah, that's a game that, honestly, when they announced God of War was coming out, I was like, it's another God of War game. I never got into the prior God of Wars. I saw the new trailer, which was like the intro of the game. I was like, oh, that's a cool take on it, but whatever. I was excited. I got it when it came out, obviously, and loved the hell of it. But, yeah, that was...
They just did a really good job making it feel like a new game at times and making it feel like the old God of War at times. You know,
Gotcha.
There's this really pivotal moment that happens about 60% through the game, and you're just like, first off, to be able to keep all that stuff a big spoiler and that huge reveal just kind of coming out of nowhere was absolutely amazing. But then getting to feel like you did way back in the day after sort of seeing this other side, and then all the way up through the ending where the game ends and you feel like you've got closure and you're ready to walk away from the game, but there's still more that could happen. I would gladly jump back in for another 20 or 30 or 40 hours, the way they kind of rounded off that story. So, yeah, God of War.
Okay.
Legit.
Deion.
Before we do that, you want to talk about your honorable mention? Because I tie into that as well.
Yeah. Okay, so...
Also, God of War, Santa Monica Studios, PlayStation exclusive. Get a PlayStation and play it.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Santa Monica Studios is amazing. Honorable mention, definitely Detroit Become Human. I feel like that game did not get enough love this year at all. And it's not that it wasn't a great game. It was fantastic. I love Quantic Dreams. I have the platinum in Heavy Rain. I got the platinum in Detroit Become Human. I've not played Beyond Two Souls yet, but I have it.
Have you played Indigo Prophecy?
No, I've not played Indigo Prophecy
That's also
either.
a really good one.
Yeah, but I love their storytelling method, the way that they go about telling it. I think it's fantastic. Detroit Become Human was a great story. For me, the reason it wasn't best narrative is because there were several very good stories, but there wasn't like one amazing story the same way that there was in Red Dead and the same way there was in God of War. So it did a lot of things very well. We have friends that
Killed major characters very early on.
immediately.
These Matos didn't know one was
20
supposed to be a
minutes
main
in the game.
Watch a little girl
character.
get beat to death.
Wait, she was supposed to be a main character?
Yes. I didn't do any
Yes,
of those
she
The
things.
guy said stand there, so I just stood there. It's like, what?
You are a robot.
Override your protocol, man.
Right. So very good. Absolute honorable mention. I think I want to say any other year they did done well, but these last few years have been really, really good. So it's hard
Yeah.
to say. They definitely earned that shout out though.
Yeah, that's similar to your point there. Spider-Man is another game that, Game Awards, for example, I don't think it got a single award. And it was this year's Horizon Zero Dawn, which I loved Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yeah.
Amazing game. But it lost out all the awards too because it was excellent, just not that quite next level and couldn't compete with, for example, this year, Detroit and Spider-Man couldn't really compete with God of War and Red Dead Redemption 2. I mean, just almost perfection games. So
Yeah, for sure. So for me, I had the same honorable mention when it comes to Detroit, just because, they have done a really good job at making the story your own, and that's really why that's the narrative that I look for when I'm personally looking for a narrative. I do love ones like God of War as well, where you were getting me in, you're making me feel emotional, right? And so, really, when it comes to Detroit and really Red Dead still is going to have a focused narrative, but to me, when I interpret narrative, it's also it's everything I'm doing as that character as well. And when I play a Rockstar game, when I play something like Red Dead Redemption 2, and I have played the previous Red Dead Redemption, I'm tying all of that in together. I'm making my character his own. I'm at camp at night, cutting up ammo, reading my journal. That's all part of narrative to me personally. Yeah. So Red Dead Redemption 2 is kind of on my list for sure. It's the best.
yeah, and it was something that I didn't think they were necessarily going to do in the beginning with the honor choices and stuff like that. I thought there might be multiple endings, but they tell a very specific story they want to tell, even if some of your actions might be counter to it. So, yeah, hats off to Rockstar. They just killed an insane narrative. I mean, and obviously Sam Aka Studios got an award too. Like, just both two very obviously different stories and maybe different levels of complexity stories, but just both compelling throughout the entire each game. So.
If you've got it for best narrative after chapter 3, when you see what happens at the end, it's gonna blow your dick clean off. You don't even.
It is.
I don't.
But
is
this
that a
was
good thing, or?
even with how it went, God of War was still right there. Like this is a toss up for me either way.
Yeah.
They're two very different
it's good
ways
for
of
gamers, no matter what.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Like it's great.
Red Dead won the official award, right?
Yes,
Yeah, best
for best
narrative.
narrative,
Oh, best
Red
narrative.
Dead did. So I actually was a little surprised by that. I thought God of War would take that for Game Awards, but
I just remember, like, okay, if God of War has to lose it, Red Dead is.
yeah, definitely. Okay, next topic. This is an interesting one. Best local multiplayer game. So I thought there might be some differences here, but there weren't. So I think across the board, I'll just save it for this. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate got our pick across the board. We've played a decent amount of local multiplayer games for the stream throughout the year. So we've had Ultimate Chicken Horse, we've got Overcooked 2, we've had Super Sports Match, which is a great one. Crawl, like so many good ones, but I mean, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate was, I think, the most fun I've had playing a local multiplayer game. It's got that online presence. It's got 74 freaking characters, which I still haven't unlocked completely. And honestly, kind of timed odd for a release date since, it can't be a contender for Game Awards at all. But, I mean, Switch is killing those holiday sales, so I'm sure that helped them out.
I think the interesting thing for me, and what really drew me to it, is that, well, I really enjoyed Ultimate Chicken Horse, and I enjoyed Mario Party, and I enjoyed Super Sports Match, and these are all games we played for 10, 15, 20 hours. But that 2 hours of Super Smash left me wanting more, and I was already invested, and I was already like, man, I gotta go pick up this game. So to me, to be able to hook me that quickly, I thought was really powerful.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun during the stream too, having people in the chat suggest, different combinations
Yeah,
or
that
different
was really
franchises and stuff like that, which the other games, I mean, they're very good at what they do, but it's kind of the same thing over and over again.
Be the green
This was
player.
like, wow, there's a drastic difference of what you can do. And of course, these Matos suggesting 8-player ice climbers was awful,
That was terrible.
but something you can do if you want to just hate yourself and hate everyone around you.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. Your Switch will start on fire. Mine pretty much did.
Yeah, for me, it was the character options. I mean, the amount of characters in this freaking game that I'm still trying to figure out who my main is because I'm just like, but I haven't even played half these characters yet. Like that keeps it going, so you can really make it diverse every time you play with your friends. So.
Yeah, for sure. And there's a bunch of requests out there for them to actually nerf some characters, like Inkling, I guess, which I played. Since I heard that news, I apparently am just not very good with Inkling. I don't know. But
I did hear that.
I didn't see the benefit of them. But yeah, so it'll be interesting as that kind of updates and they kind of, make some modifications and release the new DLC character. So Piranha Plant is coming out. 5 more in 2019.
Joker
Piranha
being one of
Plant's, yeah, Joker from Persona 5 is in there, so that's pretty cool. I've never played the Persona games. I always mean to. I don't have that time investment, so.
Neither.
But okay. Anything else on best local multiplayer game? Yeah. Okay. Next, I think will be interesting one. Most fun. So I know a lot of people just kind of associate video games with, oh, you're supposed to have fun playing video games. But really, it's a varying level for me. Red Dead Redemption 2, God of War, as much as I love them, there were parts where I was not having fun. I mean, for whether it's a story element, whether it's a mechanic that I don't necessarily like, or it's me trying really hard to, fight off enemies or something like that, some of the challenge modes and shit. For me personally, though, the most fun I had was Spider-Man for PS4. So Insomniac Games made an amazing game, as I mentioned. I think any other year it could have been a contender for Game of the Year, but this year it just fell short of that. But just between the music, the character interactions, the humor, swinging around, and just feeling like a badass, like Insomniac needs to make an Iron Man game, and I'll be all in because they nailed what it means to be Spider-Man. And actually, so we saw Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse last night. And
go see that movie. It was so good.
Amazing.
So good.
It really was.
I think, actually, sorry, slight tangent now to best movie of the year. I think it's my best movie of the year. And that's saying a lot. Ant-Man came out. The Infinity War was out. Or some other great ones. Halloween, which is obviously a different standard, but amazing game. Just, really far apart.
The El Royale was really good. I just finished that one.
Yeah, that was a good one. So a lot of great movies out there, but this was just near perfection.
Great from start to finish. It was absolutely amazing.
Humor, the music, the animation, amazing. But anyways, back to Spider-Man. Sorry.
I was just gonna say that one was it was surprising how good it was too.
Yeah.
I knew I was gonna see it be animated fun, but it was really funny.
Yeah.
Really funny, in surprising ways that I thought it would be.
I think every character besides the villains had a humorous part to the movie, which is just kind of odd to think about that.
Right.
All of them, it's not a comedy by any means, but I don't know. Yeah. It was just super good.
Well, then not only that, because it's different universes, their takes on some of the villains to me were fresh, and they were awesome, and they were just imaginative and really creative. So
yeah, Green Goblin was insane.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But Spider-Man the game, PS4 exclusive. Again, you should buy a PlayStation 4. Yeah, it was just so good. And the DLC, I just started playing yesterday, actually. So there's 3 DLC points. I'm going to get them all wrong. So there's the Heist, Silver Lining, and another one. Yep. But there are 3 of them out now. I started playing the Heist. It adds not just new story elements, but new challenges, new collectibles, everything like that. Separate trophy list, apparently. It's it's so far so good. I mean, I got it out because we were going to see Spider-Man. I was like, okay, I'm going to get in that mood again. And I had a blast. And that's the most fun I've had playing a single-player game in a long time. I mean, not saying it's the best single-player game I've ever played, but it's so much fun and really drives me to get those collectibles, which usually I'm awful at. Like, as far as platinum goes, I don't have many. I will get a platinum on this game because it entices you to do so and makes it fun to do so. So,
yeah, one thing, because might as well, since I picked this as my choice as well. I'm going in before this game. Like, I'm not a huge Spider-Man fan. Like, it's cool as a hero, but you know, there's other heroes out there.
Same.
I think the last superhero game that I truly enjoyed was the last Batman game, which I thought was really well done. And since then, though, this really, like, when I look at most fun, because there's other games that I've played, but usually the multiplayer ones you end up getting frustrated at some point, whether that's bad teammates or something like that. But I just can't say enough how great the mechanics were just swinging around the damn town. You know what I mean? Even the side stuff, I felt it was fun for me going around doing each thing. And police call happens. I'm like, yeah, sure, I want to go over there. Like, it was really fluid, and it just felt really natural without them trying so hard to redo a franchise. Because what I always worry about with Spider-Man is there's so many iterations of it that I kind of get tired of, like, the same story again. But they did it in a really refreshing way.
Yeah, and to your point, the web slinging mechanics were just on point. Like, it was natural. It made you be able to do badass things and get around really quickly, and fight really, theatrically. And it was just, they killed it. Also, Insomniac Games got a shout out in Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse movie with the Insomniac Games Spider-Man suit. So that was pretty cool seeing that in there. And I immediately changed my suit back to that this morning after I saw the movie last night and put it back to the default one. I was like, hell yeah.
I played with that suit the entire game until I unlocked the last suit. And now that's what I'm using because it's more fun.
Naturally.
Cool.
Spoilers.
You guys made me want to change my decision. So, Spider-Man was fantastic. I did end up getting the platinum in it, and I enjoyed just about every minute I played. The reason that I didn't pick it as most fun is because there were still times where I felt like I was grinding, and there's still times where I felt like it was repetitive, and I mean, at the end of it, when you're trying to find all 5 crimes for each of the different gangs and each of the different cities.
Yeah, I'm on that part right now.
Yeah, and it was just hours of that, which was fine, but like, there's only so many Sable troops you can fight. It just becomes repetitive, and I think I was actually listening to my audiobook at that point where it was just like, I don't even need to check in anymore. But to me, the game that was like the biggest wow, and that I'm still eager to pick up at any point in time and spend 2-3 hours in is Beat Saber. Beat Saber sort of came out of nowhere early this year. I think you actually brought it in.
Yeah, I think it released May 1st, 2018. Yeah. And I brought it in for a work event with my Vive. And
it was fantastic. I actually ended up buying a Vive for that game.
My bad.
Hey, listen. And it's been a whole lot of fun. I've been kind of fallen off of the whole rhythm game thing, but I did play Donkey Konga way back when, and I had the DDR pads when I was in high school. Lost 40 pounds with every other one of my friends during that first summer we played it together. And this really brought that back, and then not to mention the fact that it's all sort of circular around electronic music, and which I'm obviously a real big fan of. Plus, it's got that Star Wars feel. Swinging those sabers and passing through a box gives you such a satisfaction, and the feedback that you get from the game is outstanding. And then just to see the community sort of gather around, and all
that's a great
the
point.
Custom games that people or songs that people put together, and they put them up for you. And scrolling through those lists, even looking for a game like, oh shit, yes, I want that one too, and just kind of tagging all these games to play. And then going through every single one of them, and some of them are great, and some of them are not so great. But I think every single one of them was fun.
Yeah.
So to me, that's my most fun of the year.
Yeah, that's a great point. And had we done like a best VR category, this would have gotten mine hands down.
True.
Mm-hmm. They just released Friday. I'm gonna butcher it. KDA. Pop Stars, so the Korean pop song that was created by Riot Games for their League of Legends, whatever it is, tournament. So they added that custom theming and stuff like that. You can I have a highlight of it on the Twitch stream, but amazing game. They themed it and everything. They had another song too, which I wasn't actually a fan of that song. I don't remember the name. But so now it's up to, I think it's 13 bass songs. But then, to your point, the modding community is just insane. There's so many different things you can do. You can do the mixed reality and make your character look different. You can change colors. You can change swords. You can do whatever you want. And it's amazing. I still do that, honestly, for a workout. And I try to do it for like half hour to an hour a day now. And it's great. And I am going to pick up the PlayStation VR because of the holiday special. And it comes with Beat Saber, so now I'm looking forward to trophies.
Yes.
Hell
Can't
yeah.
get enough Beat Saber.
Can't get enough Beat Saber. / I really want to play Astrobot, which from everything I hear is like Game of the Year contender for VR with Beat Saber. So we'll see how that goes. So check out streams on that in the future. Yeah. Okay. Well, I think we'll switch over to biggest upset / disappointment. This should be a good one.
Yeah, I'm good.
Mine, Sea of Thieves. So, published by Rare. I know they've done a lot to bring this game back. They've done a lot of updates, and apparently the community is thriving. But this is one of those games where I actually wasn't initially excited about it, but then I heard all the hype when it was coming out. People were playing it, friends were playing it. And I know, sorry, Steve. I know.
I'm with Steve on this, so I want to talk to you after
Yeah.
you go through your point.
So I got this game and started playing, and it was okay. It just felt super empty and not a complete game. Honestly, I felt that No Man's Sky, when that launched, had more to do in it than this game. And it's,
True.
I think, the only time I've ever demanded a refund, and I got a refund on Microsoft, which was great. They had great customer service through the Xbox whatever pass and blah blah blah. I know, I'm sorry, Steve.
He's so sad.
I do need to give it another try. I acknowledge that they've done a lot of updates and they've got that community going. It was just I got bored, and I played DayZ lately, walking through the night doing nothing. Sorry, no call-in lines. Feel free to
1-800 Sea of Thieves.
You can go down to the provide feedback section and comment there.
Voice your rage.
So
So
that was it.
I can agree with that to an extent. I played Sea of Thieves for about 2 weeks when they did the Game Pass trial.
Mm-hmm.
Playing by yourself sucks.
Yeah, I would never play that game by myself.
Trying to run your ship by yourself, or move treasure, or even just like sailing by yourself is just awful. Now I will say, I played with Steve for a lot, and just having one other person is so much more fun.
Okay.
Making commands to each other back and forth on the ship, or loading him into a cannon and shooting him over to another player's ship so that he can like get on their ship and steal their treasure or sink their ship. There's so many amazing memories I had playing that game. That would be a good one for a group of friends to play together. It's not one to play by yourself, or at least it wasn't when I played it.
Gotcha. Yeah, so
He says it's not Sea of Thief.
Yes, Thieves.
Valid.
That makes so much more sense now. So I played it with a group once in a while. Not long before I refund it, but I think I encountered a ship, maybe another player ship, like once or twice. And one of them I was alone and I just got ganked, and it was just like, I had fun almost killing them, but then they just respawned and destroyed me repeatedly. I was like, well, this is fun.
Yeah, so to tag on to that, I mean, Mike's right. Like, you have to play with people. So I played for about...
I need more friends. I get it.
Yeah, get friends, John. I played with a buddy of mine for like a month or two after the game came out. I loved it because you can play it my friend was on Xbox and I was on PC, and I could play that with him on my PC, which also means I'm using a mouse and keyboard. And I was wrecking these kids, okay? I was stealing all the treasure. I was 360 no scoping these guys.
Yeah?
It was great.
So mouse and keyboard is superior to controller then?
There's no debate. No. There's statistical facts on that. Anyway.
Numbers.
The internet. Anyway.
Science.
That aside, I do agree that there was lacking content when the game first came out. I was raiding other ships and doing stuff. I was seeing a lot of other players, but there was, you kind of get a little bored of the tedious tasks. But since then, I mean, all the content, they're continually pushing more stuff, and with all the Kraken stuff and all this other stuff that they have going on now, it's definitely worth exploring. Especially like all of us jumping in. Yeah. It's definitely worth that.
Okay. Might convince me.
Give it another shot.
Give it a shot.
You're wrong, John.
You're wrong. Okay, well that was mine.
Okay.
I'm glad we got some debate going in there.
I take that back, John. You're not wrong. Okay, so mine is probably not the main or the.
This is not popular opinion.
Yeah, that's what I was looking for. It's definitely not a popular opinion. For me, my biggest upset was Monster Hunter World, and I'll tell you why. I love. I love the concept of running around with my friends and tackling giant bosses. That's why I played MMOs for so long. But coming off of yet another platinum drop, coming off of Horizon Zero Dawn and doing that platinum and then doing all of that extra content, the characters just felt so slow.
Yeah.
The input lag was absolutely unbearable. I played through to like level 10 or 15 maybe. And I was still having a hard time rolling out of the way, and I'm getting clobbered left and right. Building the gear, so much fun. Figuring out how to attack the monsters, absolute blast. Jumping online with friends, super, super cool. I just could not get past how sluggish these hunters were.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Actually, I played Monster Hunter World with friends, and it was good, but it felt tedious, I guess, to me, where it wasn't something I could jump on and future PETA hates them. Wow.
Killing all these animals.
Yeah, it was just kind of tedious and slow, and it wasn't something I could jump in and do quick or, get into quickly. It was like, I had to plan, be like, okay, I'm going to go hunt this monster. I better allocate an hour of my real time to, dedicate to this and no interruptions and stuff like that, which is, I don't know, just difficult for my lifestyle at the moment. So.
And I will say, I did play Dauntless. If you guys haven't played Dauntless yet, it's in open beta, but it's basically the love child of Monster Hunter World and, say, Fortnite, where it's very sort of colorful and more rounded artistic style, but also it just streamlined everything. It was shorter. Your characters are far more agile, but it still has the group attack mechanics, and it still has the sort of collection and creation mechanics as you go through. It feels very much like Monster Hunter World, and I can tell you that little bit of difference made a world of difference, because I thoroughly enjoy playing Dauntless, and I couldn't connect with Monster Hunter World.
Gotcha.
Yeah. That's one I personally didn't play that much. I don't know what game. There was other games out at that same time, and I knew I couldn't dedicate the time to play Monster Hunter World. Did hear good things, but I could definitely see that as another one that if I didn't have a good amount of friends really dedicated to it, that I wouldn't give it enough time.
Gotcha.
So for me, this is popular opinion. However, my opinion is a little different than popular. So Fallout 76 was my biggest upset. Well, where do I begin?
Yeah, I'm not sure if we have enough time for the Fallout 76 shit talk stream.
I'll just use the next 2 hours. With this game, I knew it wasn't going to be a Fallout 5, and I think that comes first, because a lot of people are heavy into the Fallout universe, love Bethesda, and that's the game that they were really hoping for, even though it wasn't called that anyway, and I knew it wasn't going to be that. So I was fine with that.
Expectations were tempered going in.
Right, exactly. I got a little triggered by you have to pre-order to be in the beta, and that beta that beta carries into the full game.
The first
so
red
if you
flag.
want progress to be ahead of everybody else, you had to buy in. So that was the first thing I was like, we'll trigger on this.
Did you buy in?
Did I buy it?
Buy in.
I did buy in, like everybody else.
So mad about
Me
it.
too.
Yeah, I wondered who convinced me to do that. Yeah. But really, when it came down to it, it wasn't. I had a good time. Like John and I played a good amount.
Yeah.
It was fine for me. I don't know. I know a lot of people were upset and had different things. We saw a fair share of like bugs of like zombies or whatever being in place and stationary but moving at the same time.
It's a Bethesda game.
But that didn't surprise me that there was bugs and they needed to fix them. And what the problem was just all of the other things that were coming up. The amount of things that were going on between the pre-ordering and like all of the challenges bundled up just helped hurt this game.
Right.
And that's the part that was upsetting to me, like all the stacks of everything that just made the game worse as opposed to it coming out with bugs, them fixing it, and like us moving on. That's what made it upsetting to me. I didn't really have a bad time playing the game, honestly, but all the other stuff kind of just it affects it.
Yeah,
Right.
I completely agree, and that's actually Fallout 76 was right there with Sea of Thieves for me because it was like the difference was I think I liked Fallout 76, which for the most part they've made some updates to the camp system and stuff like that, so they made it easier to camp and craft your house and your base and all that stuff, and they're working on it. It's just all the terrible business practices and mess ups along the way just it kills the community. It kills, the essence of that game. Granted, they're smaller servers, but it's unforgivable. What Bethesda's been going through, unfortunately. So it's the game itself. I was like, this is okay. I'll take it. I can play this once in a while and have fun. But, real quick, wasn't biggest upset or biggest disappointment, but I do want to call out a game that I personally didn't think I would be invested in, and that was Assassin's Creed Odyssey. So I have not actually liked the Assassin's Creed games prior to this, and I had a lot of fun, and I feel like...
Did you play Origins?
Just briefly. So I played kind of the intro levels and stuff like that.
Because that was kind of the pivoting point to be positive again.
Exactly.
In my opinion.
And that's what I heard.
Black Flag kind of went down.
Black Flag was fantastic, and then
just dropped. And
Yeah.
then Origins again.
Black Flag was the only Assassin's Creed game I ever enjoyed, and I really didn't play any of the Assassin's Creed part of it. I just
the ships.
did the ships all the time. So we're not really talking about Assassin's Creed Odyssey much on the stream, so I just kind of want to give that quick shout out of, even if you don't like Assassin's Creed games, give this a shot because it's very different and it's a very full, complex, deep game. So just want to put that
Mike,
shout out.
Do your shout out.
DayZ Game of the Year says Lampy.
What up, Lampy?
There it is.
You see it. Oh, man. There he is. What up, Lampy?
Okay. So biggest upset, we talked about that. Biggest surprise, probably should have put AC in here. But biggest surprise game that you weren't anticipating. We're going to, I think, talk about I'm going to talk about a couple here. But Celeste was, I think, my number one for biggest surprise. Developed by Matt Makes Games Studios. Never heard of them. It's a platformer. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's the actual name, not Matt. Weird. So it was just a fantastic game. Story. It is way too deep for a video game and deals with super emotional and deep problems for being a platformer. It's just bizarre, and it struck a chord. I heard amazing things about it, and that's why I picked it up. Really, the first game I played, though, that was a surprise this year, was kind of along the same lines, a platformer, which I normally don't necessarily enjoy, but The Messenger. So another Switch game. This one was made by Sabotage Studios, and it both just phenomenal. This one, Messenger, less of a story and more about the art style and the music and just some humor to it. Celeste being very deep, amazing music, good art style, but it was just those two just came out of nowhere and blew me away and help make the Switch what it is, in my opinion, as far as being a true amazing platform. That I think it tends to get overshadowed as more of a casual gaming system compared to the PlayStation and Xbox. But games like this really are where Switch just kills it. So, yeah, I think, and then Assassin's Creed Odyssey was, one of those that was just amazing. So, how about you?
So for me, not only was this game far more fun than I expected it to be, but it was also in a genre that I don't normally play. So mine was Jurassic World Evolution. I'm not particularly into tycoon type games. I generally get overwhelmed by making sure everything is in the exact right spot, make sure everything is very based on a grid. I do. That's why I can't play RTS. I get so focused on the layout that I can't actually focus on progression. But I love Jurassic Park. I love Jurassic World. Dinosaurs are amazing. Michael Crichton is my favorite author. And so there's so much of the theming of this game that I was intrigued enough to play it. And right from the beginning, it was just absolutely fantastic. You do have to pay attention to where things go and how things operate, because you're basically building parks on these old islands. And some islands are very big and you have lots of space, and some islands are very small. But I don't know, man. I couldn't put it down. And so I must have put 35 hours, 40 hours into it, and within 3 weeks.
That's impressive.
Thoroughly enjoyed it. Yeah, a lot of fun.
This is one I still need to check out. I was dead set on playing it and streaming it, and that was at the time where my computer started going through just terrible, terrible challenges, and it took me literally, I think, a month and a half to figure out all my computer problems, and it's still actually half ripped apart right over there. But it's run the stream, so there we go. But I just saw this on the Steam Winter Sale, Jurassic World Evolution, and all the DLC and stuff like that. Yeah, pretty significantly discounted if I remember correctly too. So definitely a great opportunity. I want to play it. Everybody I watched stream it had a blast on it. So
yeah,
cool.
Lots of fun.
Legit.
Deion, what you got?
Dragon Ball Fighters.
Fighter Z.
Is it Fighters or is it Fighter Z?
I think it's
Fighter
Fighters.
Z.
I don't know.
I think it's Fighter Z.
Is
it?
Well, we'll never know.
There's a Z in there, guys.
Which is developed by Arc System Works.
Yeah, I don't know.
No idea.
But this one in particular, I've played Budokai 2, a lot of those other Dragon Ball games, but this one I kind of wasn't expecting it to be as good as it was. Coming off of Xenoverse and stuff like that, which was okay, but it was different.
Mm-hmm.
This one, it took me back to those Budokai times, and it worked really well. It played like a Street Fighter with your Dragon Ball Z characters, and it was really freaking awesome. I played a good amount of it until I kept getting destroyed online, absolutely destroyed. But it had a pretty okay story, but it was surprising to me that I didn't think it'd be as good as it ended up being, for sure. And so if you like Dragon Ball Z, you should definitely pick that up.
It has a very Final Bout feel. Did you play Final Bout for the PS1?
I haven't actually, no.
Final Bout was a Japanese game. And you had to have the cartridge pack plugged into the back of your PS1 in order to translate the Japanese games. Then you had to put in a US game and then remove the deck lid so you could pull the game out and then put your Japanese game in after the game had loaded to make it think. Super, super fun. And I had a friend who had it, but it was another side-scrolling DBZ type fighting game. And this, to me, felt a lot like that. So there's a little bit of nostalgia when I played it too.
Nice.
But yeah, fantastic. Dragon Ball Z Fighters was probably my favorite fighting game of the year.
Yeah, same.
Over Smash Brothers.
Well, I guess I think of those
different fighting
things,
games.
Yeah, that's fair. Very different. Okay, so big surprise. Let's see, most impactful event for video games. So this one's kind of more general, but as far as just kind of what happened in 2018 that we think is of significance that's going to play a factor on 2019 and years to come. So this one, I had a few different things, and I think I'm actually changing it now last minute to just be Epic Games in general.
Yeah.
So I was going to talk about Tencent, stuff like that, but Epic Games, between Fortnite, quote-unquote early access Fortnite still, on Season 7 making billions of dollars, and now just getting sued by pop culture icons
Everybody.
for some reason.
Check out our previous stream for details.
Yeah, they're going to be potentially setting, standards for how games pursue different content like that, whether it's dancing. They have the free-to-play game that makes billions of dollars just on DLC alone, no loot packs or anything like that, loot crates. They've got the Epic Games Store, which is going to be a contender for Steam. Again, I don't think it's necessarily going to be, and we talk about this all over, but I don't think it's going to be Steam by any means, but at least they're creating competition in the market.
They are. Well, and they're also giving away free games. So it's 2 free games,
Yeah.
or it's a free game every 2 weeks,
Yeah.
which is going to draw, I think, a lot of people in and may change strategy on how other
Right.
game stores do it.
Yeah, and I mean, they've kind of started playing their hand and forcing PlayStation to get, that kind of cross compatibility. I mean, you can play it on every single device you can imagine. It's
Still less than 4 devices in this room.
yeah. Yeah, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So they just tore up the market, and I'm very curious to see how that either continues or how that falls off.
Well, even Dauntless is developed by the Epic Games team.
Yeah, and actually, so yeah, the pricing for the Epic Games Store, the earlier in the year they had the Unreal Engine as far as different pricing models on that to make that much more accessible to developers and gamers. They're just killing it. So I'm curious to see if that becomes a monopoly or if that falls off, if they just start continue to be good guy gamers sharing their source code for cross-play functionality. So I think they're mine.
I went a little bit different direction with this. To me, this was more about like those moments that happened this year in gaming that really made me take a pause and sort of, I don't know, reevaluate how I feel about certain things, or maybe how I feel about like my own situation and how lucky I am. So number one, I do have 2 of them that I really want to call out. Number one was Telltale Games shutting their doors. So there very well may have been writing on the wall. I didn't know much about it at all until they shut their doors, which was pretty upsetting, to come into work and then realize you don't have a job anymore. But the other side of that was Blizzard and Santa Monica Studios and a lot of these other game companies that opened their doors to these developers and were like, look, we've got a place for you. Come and interview and we'll take care of you guys. And so that shows just how tight-knit that community is. And it was very, very humbling.
Yeah, and how much respect they have for each other. It's not like Telltale Games was... I'm a little curious. If EA was like shutting down a division, I'm curious to see what the response would be, just because of EA's connotations. But at the same time, I know people recognize that the developers they're making a paycheck and hopefully passionate about the game they're making. I know a lot of people are complaining about corporate greed and all that stuff, and Bethesda and EA, but it's all those individual developers they're pouring their passion into these games. So
the passion and the talent, and like there's so much more that goes into it than the sort of business strategy.
Yeah, and Telltale I think exemplify that. So
and I thought it was cool on Twitter just to see all those other developing studios like say, hey, we're like come on in. Like it was cool seeing that even.
Yeah.
The second one that really sort of stopped me in my tracks was the shooting at the Madden tournament this year up in Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Madden is actually produced right up the road here in Orlando. And then Jacksonville obviously being, 100 miles away. It was just a little close to home, a little close to home. And so I'll be interested to see how this is going to affect future game tournaments. But again, that's another great situation. Watching all the streamers that were doing these charity streams and raising money for these families, it speaks volumes about this community here, and I love it. And I'm happy to be a part of it.
Yeah, and just a side note on that, as far as the community and support and everything, the extra live stream that we had. I mean, thanks to you guys watching and countless others, I mean, chipped in and fairly short notice. And I mean, we raised like $1,500 for Children's Miracle Network Hospital. So it was incredible. And as always, I'm going to do the plug. There's a link below. You can continue to donate. We're always accepting donations on that. And have a pretty high bar set for 2019 that we're going to hopefully crush. So
We will.
Yeah.
Cool. For me, it was the Game Awards this year. I mean, really, it went all out.
Yeah.
I mean, how many new games did they have out there? It was really cool, and it was the first time that, like, I remember the Game Awards in prior years, but it just felt like this year in particular, like, everyone was really interested in it, involved in it, all these new announcements. It felt like a really good, strong community coming together to really represent the games that everybody loves, right? That was a big one for me. And then the other thing, it's not really a specific event, just more knowing that, like, as a gaming community, just what we've seen in this recent year and probably last year too, but like, you know, your voice in gaming really matters, and that's important to see. So whether it's stuff that we love or stuff that we hate, and we know that we hate that's important because we are seeing companies having to react to those things, right? So it's not just gonna we're not gonna really find some gaming, you know, company coming out and just trying to change, like, just all loot boxes and just like shitty like, there's enough of us now where we're going to make a voice, and they're going to have to respect that voice because we have come together. And so it's really cool at least seeing that part, you know?
Yeah, I think about the Battlefield debacle and
Battlefield,
Fallout 76,
even like Red Dead on the online portion when people talked about that.
What was that? The time to kill, the TK.
Yeah, TTK.
That just happened, for Battlefield 5. Something just happened.
Yep. So, and it's cool that developers are actually listening and responding. Right, exactly. You know, they're on Twitter. They're reaching out to the community. It's not like it used to be, where we make a game and you just fucking take what you get. You know, that's it.
Spider-Man, the Sam Raimi shirt, or suit, the Fortnite, various fixes throughout the year
Even
that were immediate.
The fucking proposal thing that they put in the game in Spider-Man, where a guy reached out to them. Yeah, so a guy reached out to Insomniac Studios saying that he wanted to propose to his girlfriend and needed a really amazing way to do it, and asked them to help out. And so they put a proposal on the movie theater marquee in the game.
No shit.
They broke up before the game came out.
No!
So they reached out to him, and they actually worked with him to put something else up on the board for him. So,
that's cool.
Yeah,
that's cool.
But that's exactly it. You know, these guys reached out and they're talking to people on the street. You know, the ones that are buying their game. They're more connected with their community now than they've ever have been. That's very, very cool.
Yeah, and Twitch and YouTube influencers having such a big part in games now too, with publicity and stuff. Spider-Man having shirtless Spider-Man in there because of Greg Miller at Kinda Funny, who has a shirtless Spider-Man persona for some reason. It's crazy how interconnected everyth's getting. So hopefully we can be shirtless in a video game someday. See you, Lampy. Thanks for watching.
See you, Lampy.
Not quite what up, Lampy, but you know.
Yeah, it doesn't really flow as well.
And he's leaving right before Game of the Year. Our individual picks for Game of the Year.
Well, obviously it's DayZ.
Yeah, I mean, Lampy says DayZ.
Yeah,
so
too
I
bad
think
that came out 5 years ago, Lampy. 5 years.
But it was
which year.
recently updated. I can't wait to give Game of the Year to Star Citizen when that comes out in 20 years.
20, 40.
It's going to be great.
That's
it's going to be great. Sea of Thieves. Okay. No release this month.
Bye, Lampy. Bye, Lampy.
DayZ might as well have released
Bye,
this month. See you, man. So, my Game of the Year, and I think we're going to kind of go back to some of the narrative stuff, but God of War. So, I know best narrative I had Red Dead Redemption 2, but God of War by Santa Monica Studios was, in my opinion, as close to perfection as I've seen in a video game. It is a story they're telling you. There's no extra options you get to, make decisions. It's a very set story. It's, I want to say, relatively straightforward, simple story compared to like Red Dead Redemption 2 that has a lot of different crosses and things like that, you know, intermixing. And it was compelling the entire way. That was a game that I don't ever remember feeling like I wanted to go off and do side things. I wanted to, which there were tons of side things to do, and I kind of wish I had done more of those, but it was a story I just felt compelled to continue going. And they made it the first battle. I'm blanking on his name. The main villain. But anyways, one of the first fights,
Baldur?
Kratos, and you just feel like a badass fighting this just epic fight scene of gods. And
Baldur, thank you very much, Dad.
Baldur, thank you.
What up, Dad?
Yeah, that was just a moment where very early on in the game, I'm like, holy shit, this game is intense, and I get drawn into the character immediately. The Leviathan axe just had that weight and feel to it that was amazing. Stop spamming caps. Oh, T-Gab's getting timed out.
Good. He's the faker.
Timed out. Faker in the chat. Yeah, so God of War, it was just beautiful. It was...
I'd pay to see it.
I would love to see that. So, yeah, God of War just takes it. It was not the, I want to say, realistic environment as far as like Red Dead Redemption 2 goes and all the effort that went into that, but it was just...
It still looked great.
Oh, yeah. Beautiful, and it was, I feel like, more artistic in its design and everything, the elements, and it was playing a work of art. And I know video games are in general a work of art, but this was the most poignant, like, ever I've felt about a game as far as just being like, holy shit, this is art and a masterpiece.
Yeah, so my vote was also for God of War, and everything you said is absolutely applicable. The things to me that also put this game just at the next level, that single cinematic camera from start to finish.
That's a great point.
And just, oh my gosh, it tied everything together, and it made the game feel so fluid, and no loading, and no, like, the way that you transition through this entire world, and at no point do you ever have to stop playing. You know, it just kind of kept you going, which is incredible. I do remember putting the game down after I beat it, and the credits start rolling, and they're coming through Jotunheim or whatever, and I just put down the controller. I'm like, that game was a masterpiece. It was absolutely a masterpiece from start to finish. And it's another example of when, you know, the community spoke out. They decided to do a new game plus because that's what people wanted, and they added a harder mode, and they added some additional armors and that kind of stuff too, which all of that stuff is amazing. A bittersweet moment was listening to the interviews with the game developers and asking if there was any sort of DLC planned or any other expansions planned, and they said no. And at one point, like, I was really disappointed about that because there's literal realms in the game that you can't get to just yet. But taking a moment and having a deep breath and just going, you know what, this game doesn't need anything else.
Yeah.
It
100%.
wrapped up every piece of the story. It left just enough hooks that you can do something later on and you can build on this story. But I don't feel like I've felt with previous games where I had to buy this and then buy that and then buy this and then buy that, and now I have a game. It was wonderful from start to finish.
Complete.
So, yes, it was complete.
Very good. That is really true. I do like the fact that it was just all bundled up in a nice box, ready to go, without all this extra shit that you had to buy or do to feel like you got a full story. So that's great.
Yeah, especially with, I feel like a lot of games.
Yeah,
More recently, it's like, hey, here's a game. It's almost complete. You can check out our DLC or pay $10 to unlock this thing that's already on the disc or something like that, where it's just like, yeah, I don't know. God of War
Spider-Man's
was
the same way. They released the game and said they had 3 DLCs already planned when the game hit.
fair.
Which is fine. People make a lot of money doing that. A lot of people really appreciate that. But to me, like, I paid you for the game.
God of War was that throwback to, with 2018, I feel like being a year of games as a service, God of War was not that at all. It was, here's a story. It's amazing. It's beautifully designed. Enjoy it. That's it. We don't want your money for DLCs or anything like that. Which, I mean, it's a different stance. I mean, it's not going to make as much money as Red Dead Redemption 2 in the long run, or Fortnite, or anything else, but it was out there. It fulfilled its purpose of really transforming Kratos in everybody's mind's eyes. I mean, God of War in general in everybody's perceptions. And now if they do another one, I mean, they can do whatever and it's going to sell, honestly, at this point.
That's
Yep.
true.
Yeah.
That's true.
So-
It was revitalizing to the franchise as well. You know?
Yeah.
But yeah, Deion.
So for me, no knock to God of War at all. That game is truly amazing. For my personal view and how I like the game, I do love the open world, and that's why I picked Red Dead Redemption 2. That's just a matter of truly loving those open world games and being able to explore a whole gigantic map and kind of roam free, if you will. I've been walking around the house, and now my fiance knows when she sees me. She's like, "What are you playing? Red Dead Redemption?" Like in that country ass voice. But it's a game that I'll sink hours into. Literally, just I can't stop and hunt and like do all these extra things. But like that's what I personally like in the game, is just to like just be fully invested in like literally living your life in the game.
That's why DayZ is a close second for Deion. Number one for Lampy.
Number one for Lampy. DayZ's great, but not on this level, not at all.
Yeah, it's really interesting to me. Red Dead Redemption 2, what I love and what you mentioned you love, is the exact opposite of why I know people don't like
it,
Red
and that's
Dead
so
Redemption
true.
2.
They thought it was boring. Some people thought it was slow
Yeah,
and
slow.
all that stuff.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, there's points where it's like, okay, I just got this cool pelt. Holy shit, I have to ride literally 15 minutes to get to somebody to turn it in. And it's like,
You fall off your
my
fucking horse,
God.
and then like you drop your pelt. You don't realize you dropped your pelt, and then you get to town. You don't have your damn pelt. And
that happened once, and that will never happen again.
everybody does it once.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, it's a breathtaking game as far as just the dynamic environments and animals and all that stuff going on. Like, you can be riding along and you'll see two deer fighting with their heads caught because of their antlers, and or one of them being dead and the other one trying to escape from the other dead one. It's just, there's so much narrative going on that I feel like you're never even going to explore fully. So being the epilogue, and I've started to kind of go down, I went full good morals, and now I'm going more negative here, and the interactions I'm having are drastically different. Even some of the side options I have, I feel like are opening up because of that, which I've never even experienced. So now I feel like I almost want to do another playthrough, which I'll probably have to do for the platinum because of the stupid companion.
Yep. I gotta go
Items?
back and do those too.
Fuck. Pissed about that.
That makes sense though, right? Because like if you tailor to the
Honest,
if
yes,
you,
evil.
If you tailor to the good side, all of these things open up for you, like side shit, right? Like, oh, you saved this group of people that were building a house from these bandits, and then if you keep checking in on them, they actually continually build the house, and you get money for that. If I was bad, I probably would have killed them early on. And so I could see other quest lines happening the same way, like side shit, where like, oh, you can be bad, and this evolves into this other thing.
Right. And I know we talked about it in the narrative, but as far as it's telling you a story, no matter what your actions are, but that story has different reflections of what you've done in the past, without trying to give spoilers away. Like at the very end, there's I'm trying to think of how not to spoil this. Yeah, a moment where you're not doing so well, and a family that I had previously saved and like helped survive actually helped me out. So I'm very curious to play it. The end goal was the same, but as far as how I was saved and helped was reflected based on prior decisions I had. So I'm curious if I played that again, didn't help them, told them to get the F out of there, how that moment goes later in the game. Do you know the one I'm talking about?
I know exactly what you're talking about.
So yeah,
I was trying to remember if like that's one where they silently force you to help them, and you can't not help them.
that could be. It
Because
could be
there are
something
some-
they do with that.
Specifically, the whole thing that starts the downward spiral, you couldn't avoid it.
True. That's a good point.
but you don't feel like you can't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just remember spending so long trying not to because I was trying to be good.
Yeah.
And then,
Yep.
so, yeah. And they did a really good job of that where they do like this sort of silent guiding where you feel like you're making the choice you want to make and you're not. They're kind of...
Yeah, as good as I want to be, they put you in situations where you have to kill people, but it's for good. I don't know. They do it masterfully.
Yeah,
for sure. Let's see. We call us use them for food and people leather. Good call, pleather. Oh my god.
That got dark.
I missed that option. Skinning is in the game. I missed the pleather option. People leather. That probably isn't DayZ though.
You actually can cook up some people. I don't know if you can make pleather, but you can have some people.
There's a leather sewing
you can
kit.
make people steaks, that's for sure.
you can cook people in Red Dead too.
That's terrible.
I've done that.
If you throw them on the
Or you
fire,
just throw
then
them
you
on the
don't
fire.
get points for killing them. Like you don't get the
I've
dishonor
done
points.
that.
Ooh, I did that. Although I just hogtied them, left them on the train tracks, and then walked away. Didn't get dishonorable because I didn't kill
it's
them.
the train that's dishonorable.
Exactly.
Not you.
Yeah, not me.
Train.
Stupid trains. So yeah, game of the year. Fucking what an amazing year for games.
It really was.
Didn't even look back. You're damn right I didn't look back. I just kept on walking.
Just kept on walking.
There was explosions and everything.
He tried to steal something from me. Wasn't gonna have that. He's still on the train tracks to this day, they say. Or on the front of the train.
He's on the train tracks and on the side of the train
Yeah,
tracks.
he's all over the place.
There's one of the challenges you have to do is to drag somebody like 3,600
Yep.
feet behind the rope.
Really?
That was
Yeah.
fun.
It was uncomfortable because he's just like,
Yeah.
and through the town, and he's dragging behind me.
And people are just, witnessing. Witness. I think they said assault, and I'm like, oh, it's about to not be assault.
And then it
but-
went ding, murder.
Yep.
Like, well, we stopped screaming.
Yeah, some of the trophies on that are interesting. And actually, one of them, it's not much to spoil. It's a trophy. You have to visit graves, and it was very cool. I'm glad they added that in because I never would have thought that was a thing, and
But it makes sense that it is.
yeah, it just kind of ties the story back into the epilogue. So it's
Yeah.
yeah, fantastic. But yeah, 2018 was an amazing year for games. I'm very excited for 2019. Again, Slightly Salty Squad kind of started late midway through the year.
Yeah.
So excited to cover all of 2019 with everybody. We're going to be doing some changes, hopefully, kind of more standardizing the stream set, different offerings we have, opening up a Discord for people to get into and chat when we're not streaming, play games with us, all that type of stuff.
Play games with us is a big one.
Yes. Yeah.
So we have a lot of fun with you guys when you jump on and you play Brawlhalla or you play Overwatch or whatever. We want to continue to encourage that. So if you guys ever see us on, if we're not streaming or you see us on when we are streaming, please join us. Have some fun with us.
Yeah, we have a blast doing it. Brawlhalla, I got a lesson for like an hour on how to actually play that game correctly, which was much appreciated. So thank you guys for that, and we look forward to a great 2019 with you guys and all your support and figuring out something for Extra Life. We've got, 11 months to do
We
it.
got some time, yeah.
Gotta figure that out. Oh, what? Thanks, Steve.
Thank you, Steve.
Appreciate that.
Steve's feeding you now.
Damn it.
Got him.
Took me
Cheer
for the
it
top
up.
spot. Appreciate the cheer, though, Steve. Yeah, 2019 is going to be great with even just the beginning of the year with Anthem and honestly Kingdom Hearts, Super Mario, which I'm actually pretty excited about it. Yeah, I know. What?
What's Super Mario game?
It's the Wii U port for Switch.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm so excited about it. I'm going to play the shit out of it. I never had a Wii U like most people, so
I do. I have a Legend of Zelda one.
I don't know how I feel about that, to be honest.
It's awesome.
And PlayStation 5 announcements, all that stuff. E3 without PlayStation PSX, hopefully, I'm assuming they're going to have. I don't know. It's going to be a crazy year. See if Epic, folds in upon itself and collapses or just continues to crush it. Which game was the game of the year? So we did it individually. So mine was God of War. So was Mike's. Red Dead Redemption 2 was Deion's.
The official game of the year was God of War.
I picked Fallout 76. That was my game of the year.
Yeah, we did
Best game ever.
Best game ever, especially
10
business
out of 10.
practices. Battlefront 2.
Yeah, business practices. Perfect. I love it because every time like T Gibbs gets like kicked out by Nightbot, he says something and then Nightbot's like, follow us on Twitch. We should probably check us out on YouTube.
We should probably like make it a little bit more lax. Also, Nightbot, we're gonna T Gibbs, we're gonna chip in and get you a keyboard with a working caps key.
Let's see. I hardly know her. Faker.
Yep, that's worth blocking. I think we put a blocker every time Gibbs says Faker.
Oh,
Yeah.
Balder. I hardly know her. That's so funny.
Wow.
That was actually pretty clever. All right.
Yeah. We'll figure that out so you can use caps all the time. You were not using
controller.
Get the fuck out of here.
Shoot yourself.
You're being productive. There's no way you're using a Steam controller.
Speaking of which, playing DayZ later. So I'm excited
Hell yeah.
to actually have
We got
survived
spark
now.
plugs, bruh.
What?
We got spark plugs.
When did you get spark
We're
plugs?
gonna be riding the whip.
How much is Daisy?
Lampy. Got it. It's
I don't know.
shit.
Free
It was
this weekend?
Free this weekend, but I don't know when. I don't know. Well, still the weekend technically.
I've owned it for how many years, and this is the first time I've really played it. Yeah.
Paid for PUBG, and then we never fucking played again.
Well, PUBG kind of collapsed into that stuff. $45?
What?
Really?
the F? All right, so I will support you
So
guys
you got
from a
the new
distance
update.
while I'm playing some Overwatch.
Also,
It's
we
Christmas,
should be
son. I
playing
can't
Overwatch.
drop $45 on a game that's 5 years old.
That's fair. According to Lampy, though, it just came out.
That's true.
Bohemia wants that money.
Bohemia's not
Damn
playing
straight.
around if that game is still fucking $45 after like 5 years.
Yeah, seriously. I remember buying all the Arma editions so I could play it, and then it was a poor choice. So, yeah.
Great.
That's 2018 Game of the Year. You guys got anything else?
I think this is the last stream of the year, right? No. We have one more week. So
Yeah, one more week. So,
one more week.
figure
All right.
something out for next weekend.
And then expect a lot of cool things coming in 2019.
Yeah.
So, just like we were saying before, we want to be connected with you guys, and we want to do what the things that you guys want to see and want to do. So, if there are games you guys want to see us play, or there's games you want to play with us, or if you guys just want to whoop my ass at Dragon Ball Z Fighter, whatever you guys want to do, please, reach out to us on Discord, reach out to us on Twitter, reach out to us here on Twitch, and let's make some great stuff together.
Yeah. We're here for your feedback and your enjoyment. So
We're here for
Also,
let us know.
Daisy ended in December 17th.
Oh, free
Well-
That was like a fucking week ago, dude.
That was a long ass time ago.
That was last
It
year.
was a weekend.
It was a weekend.
Well, that's fair. That's fair.
No, that's December 2017.
Could be.
4 years ago. Okay. Well,
All right, cool.
yeah. Thanks, everybody.
Yep.
Till next time.
Peace
Stay
out,
salted.
guys.
Shit, where's my hat?
Man, you left it this whole time. See you guys.
Bye.